Welcome to day 2 of our strength series. So day 1 was mainly a lower body day. We did back squats 5x5 and then some accessories to go around that. Today we are going to be doing a upper body base session. So we're going to be doing the 5x5s again, just from a strength aspect. And that is going to be on the bench press. And then going to do a bit of speed work after that, so plyo push-ups, and then a bit of accessories around the upper back, and probably a bit of chest, bit of triceps, so all little muscles to finish off. So yeah, going to head into my garage now. Here it is, and get cracking. So see you in a bit. Right, so to start off, we are going bench press, 5 sets of 5, 3 to 4 minutes rest between sets, and nice controlled tempo on the way down, pulls at the chest, fast explosive on the way up. So it's a great exercise for batters and bowlers in terms of exerting power through the upper body. Again, as I sort of said in probably loads of videos now, that strength is going to be your base of your power. So this is what we're looking to do with the 5 sets of 5. We're going forward. What you'll probably do is you do 5 sets of 5, 5 sets of 4, 5 sets of 3, 6 sets of 2, get a bit of volume in there, extra set. But yeah, the idea now is to go and work. So I tend to say, you can either use sort of an RPE or reps in reserve to sort of say how hard this is going to be. So I tend to go for like 2 reps in reserve. So it's going to be heavy. I wouldn't give you a percentage. I'd rather give you stuff like this, a tempo, reps, and how heavy you feel, because it's going to be different on different days. So you could be going really stressed into a session, so you may be going a bit lighter. So it's better off doing that rather than killing yourself trying to get percentages. So yeah, I'm going to warm up now, just same with the squats, barbell, probably go up to 60 then, and then I'll probably see how I feel, go to 80, might be my first working set, might not be. Should be around 90 to 100 around there. So yeah, gonna warm up now and then crack on with it. So yeah, I did just a barbell, then I went on to 60, and then I went on to 80. Yeah, what was that? Yeah, so just simple warm up, getting a bit heavier weights. Didn't go massive reps. I think I probably did like 5 or 6 empty barbell. 60, did fly 5, 80 I did for a couple. Just getting used to it, didn't really want to get like massively fatigued going up. And then I think I'm gonna go to 90 now for my first set. Way 80 felt, probably stay around there. But yeah, it feels all right. That's all you need to do in the warm-up, really. Just getting your body ready for it. Nothing massive, nothing too fatiguing. Do your little, before I started, I did a few like thoracic stretches. I'm sat at a desk all day, so opening up my thoracic is quite big, so I'm fucking hunched over all day. But yeah, nothing massive in terms of warm-up, really. Do that if you have sort of, sometimes I do some like rotator cuff stuff just to makes my shoulders feel a bit more set, you know, when I'm benching. Just makes me feel a bit more solid. Like I didn't do them today. Like I was rushing a bit starting and I could definitely feel it. It just feels a bit awkward now. Doesn't just feel as solid when I'm coming down, but it should be all right. A few sets now and it should be going. So yeah. 5 sets of this, and then we'll move on. Yeah, that's about right weight for me today. So yeah, 4 more sets of that, and then we'll move on to some plyo push-ups. All right, next up we got plyo push-ups. So you can't see them yet, but I'm gonna put like a 20 kilo bumper plate on each side. I look to go all the way to the bottom, chest touch the floor, so hands between the plates, explode up, hands off the floor, and then catch myself on the 2 plates with sort of straight as arms as possible. Obviously, as I get more tired, I'm probably gonna struggle to get right up the top of that. But in terms of scalability, so this is a great exercise in terms of you could do this from your knees, you can go against a wall, so pushing off a wall. So whatever you're comfortable with, sort of go for that. And you don't need the plates to sort of catch yourself on. If you're sort of worried about getting on the plate or catching your wrist or something on the plate, you can just go for like, just push up, try to get some air, try to get your hands off the floor, and then catch yourself just straight back on the floor. It doesn't really make a difference. It just gives me a bit of intent when I'm thinking about it, trying to explode and get on them plates. It does add a bit of worry, and that sort of helps me in a sense in terms of I know I'm going to have to go as hard as I can to get on top of the plates. Don't get stupid with it. You see some people sort of flicking their hips and doing like some sort of worm to try and get a bit of extra height and catch themselves sort of like back here on like plates, getting the plates up as high as they can. Don't need to do it. It's just all about pushing up off the floor as high as you can, maximum intent, and that's it. Right, let's get into it. So it's 5. We'll go 3 sets of 5, quite low volume, but we want to keep it low reps. Don't really want to get fatigued on this sort of stuff. So every rep you're looking at going as fast as you can. So we'll keep it 3 sets. I'll catch you after that. Right, so we've done a fair bit of pushing so far. So throughout this program, you'll sort of realise that we do, well, through this strength series anyway, we'll do 2 upper body sessions and 2 sort of lower body sessions. The first upper body session, which is today, I'll do some horizontal pushing, which you've already sort of seen, and then we'll do some horizontal pulling. And then on the second upper body day, we'll do some vertical pulling and some vertical pushing. So that's how I sort of split my days out through this sort of series. And through this sort of strength cycle, you can do whatever you want really. You could have done 4 full body days. It doesn't really matter, but I sort of stick to one when I go through a cycle. And this is what we've done this time. So what we'll do now is a bit of horizontal pulling. So on this bench, I'm going to do, so it's got an incline, do a bit of dumbbell rows, but a chest supported dumbbell row just gives you a bit more isolation. I find a bit of a better stretch of that upper back, which is what we're looking for. So as I said before, don't be afraid to let your shoulder blades come around. That is sort of what you want to do, especially when you're doing upper back exercises. You want the scapula to sort of move back and forth. So that means the muscles are moving. If you sort of hold your scapulas tight, you'll stop like your rhomboids, all the little muscles moving and essentially working. So yeah, we're going to do, and what I'm going to do with this is, so I'm going to do the chest supported dumbbell rows, and I'll probably look to get like
8 to 10 reps with that weight. And again, as I said, the most important part of the rep is the bottom, the stretch of the bottom, and then probably about 3/4 of the way up. You'll try to get full range of motion, but normally the last sort of quarter of the rep is sort of very bicep heavy. So again, big focus on the bottom end of that movement. Just making sure my back is working, getting a good back pump. And then what I will do with these, because I'm not doing that many horizontal pulling exercises, I'll work quite close to failure here. So I'm going to do as many chest supported dumbbell rows as I can. So I'm sort of getting to a failure, and then I'll change into a bit of a shrug. It has got a name, the movement, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. So basically it'll just be, I'll keep my arms fully outstretched. So I'll take that sort of pull out of it, and I'll just focus on moving my scapulars from the stretch position at the bottom and try to squeeze them together. And I'll get a few extra reps in there, and that'll just keep working that back and essentially get a decent back pump off it. So see how that goes. I know that sounds very bodybuilder-y, but that is sort of what we're trying to do here. They're obviously very good at building muscle, bodybuilders. And that is sort of what you want to do when you're sort of hitting these smaller muscle groups. Obviously you think of the upper back, it's obviously quite big, but full of smaller muscles. So you want to probably stay away from sort of heavy rep exercises on here. But yeah, the aim of this is just to build around our shoulder blade, build a bit of stability and some integrity around our shoulder blade. It goes through a lot in cricket, whether you're a batter and especially a bowler. It's where you get a lot of injuries when you've got imbalances in that upper back area. So this is going to work both sides really well. And yeah, build a bit of muscle, as I said, build a bit of integrity. And hopefully then when we take it to the cricket field, not only will it benefit us in terms of being able to bowl quicker, hit the ball further, but also not get injured. I'm not saying this guarantees that you won't get injured. We just try to prepare ourselves, so there's just less of a chance of it. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So yeah, probably hit about 12 reps there, both I think. So I had a good pump, sort of struggling, wasn't getting as much range of motion on the last few reps, so those dumbbell rows as I started with, but that's all right with these. You know, I said the most important part of the movement is the bottom stretch, and probably about 3/4 of the way up. But yeah, 2 more sets of this. Again, working between that 8 to 12 rep range. So you saw there, nice controlled tempo on the way down, about 2 to 3 seconds. And yeah, 2 more sets. And then we'll move on to the next exercise. To finish off then, we're going to do a superset finish. Again, sticking with the upper body theme. So we're going to hit some triceps and some biceps and arms to finish. We don't do a lot of this, so we'll do this probably on this day, and then not on the second upper body day. We probably won't touch our arms. We'll do some rotator cuff stuff. So again, the triceps and biceps not big players in terms of generating power for batting or bowling. Play a little bit of a role. Not so much in bowling, but throwing, batting. But one thing it is big on is like I am big on is in terms of working every muscle group. Again, as I said, this is going to help with injury. It's going to protect your elbows, especially. A lot of people get sort of pain down the inside of their elbows, sort of like a golfer's elbow sort of thing. Doing stuff like this is going to help you and prevent stuff like that. And we sort of want to prevent it before we get further down the line and think, oh shit, I'm injured. So yeah, I'll go over a bit of the session. I'll go over a bit of an overview of the session when we finish. But as you can sort of see, we sort of start off with the big bang sort of muscles and sort of the power generators, as I like to say, with the bench press. That is where you're going to go. In terms of our body, that's where you're going to be generating the majority of your power. And then we come further and further down the line. Just to this smaller group stuff and the stuff we did before. But all just as important as each other, just play a slight different role. So what we're going to do, sticking with the sort of 8 to 12 rep range, skull crushers on an incline. If you've not done skull crushers on incline, this is by far the best way to do it. And I do them with dumbbells because I find the bar either hits me on the head or gets too far behind me and end up just fucking about, trying to find out where I want to put the bar. But doing it this way, try to get it to like drop like just behind your shoulder, and you'll then, rather than doing sort of lying down, you get like such a good stretch on this. So sort of the aim is probably to get your forearm as close to your bicep as you can. So then you get as big a stretch on your tricep as possible. And like I said with the back exercise then, the most important part of the movement is probably from the full stretch position to about 3/4 of the way. But we're going to go full range of motion. If I'm struggling, I might pull out at the end just a few extra reps of like partial movement, but that partial movement will always be from the fully stretched position and might not just lock out. Just a few extra reps. As I said, we're going to be doing one exercise for the arms. So do it sort of closest to failure as you can, get a good pump with it, and this is going to help us the most. But yeah, so straight then from that, straight into then 8 to 12 reps then of a still incline, and it's going to be a bicep curl. So when we go through it now, you'll see. But yeah, this gets a really good stretch doing it on an incline bench through your bicep. And again, most important part of the range of motion, as I keep always saying, is going to be from the fully stretched out position of the bicep to about 3/4 of the way. But like I said, we're going to go full range of motion. So squeeze at the top, all the way down, elbow locked out at the bottom. Make sure you're getting all the way to the bottom every rep. Don't mind if you don't get all the way to the top, but get all the way to the bottom. So yeah, see how it goes. that was a bit light. Might go up for the next set. But yeah, get the idea. Just one straight into the other, no rest, but about 2 to 3 minutes rest now between the next set. And that'll be that. This will be the last exercise. And then I'll just go over it at the end, just to go over a bit of style of training and why we're doing it. So watch these last few sets and then I'll get on to that. So we are done with the session. Just a bit of an overview. Oh, that's my back camera. Can't see the shit in my garage. Just to go over then, that session is a bit of an overview and the thoughts behind it. Yes, I know it is very sort of bodybuildery at the minute, but that is sort of what you want to, not completely what you want to go for when you're going through your strength stage, but there is sort of a reason for it, and there's always room for it to go through sort of like a phase like this in your strength training. So we hit a strength piece to open up, so low reps, lowish reps, 5 is as high as you want to go. Speed work with the plyo push-ups, and then into our sort of bodybuilding style accessories. So the main first 2 exercises, those are going to be what is going to get more bang for your buck in terms of getting more powerful, getting stronger. And then we go into our accessories after, which play obviously a little role in that, not as much. But then in terms of equally as important in terms of keeping us together, not getting injured, which is as much of a role as being able to generate so much power. We want to spend as much time on the field as we can. To score as many runs as we can, take as many wickets as we can. So don't ignore them. Yes, you may sort of think that, yeah, as I said, these look a bit bodybuildery, but they are very important things to do. When we go through this strength series, so I'll show you a full week. This is what the training will look like, but this isn't all that your training should look like. So we did this sort of style of training in our off-season when we went through our season-long programs. So this was off-season work, big strength development, building that base, 4 exercises like this, and a conditioning session just to keep on top of it. And it's never really going to hurt. It helps, if anything, in terms of your capacity and your workload that you can take on that conditioning session, keeping on top of it. But yeah, we went through this in our off-season, and then sort of as you get closer to pre-season, you'll go into a more power-based sort of style training, which I will go through another week of that after I do this week. But that then starts to look a bit more sport-specific. I wouldn't say I have sort of not an issue with sport-specific training, but I think people sort of go down the road of, oh, I want to make this exercise look like a cricket shot. I want to make it look like someone's bowling. That is not what you want to do in the gym. Especially, we are very one-sided in terms of we're batting, we're always rotating one way, unless you play a lot of reverse shots. And bowling, you obviously pull in one side, pushing one side a lot. So I will go through it, but in terms of we always take a balanced approach because we want to stay from sort of getting even more compromised to one side. But yeah, I'll go through that when we go through the power stuff and the sport-specific stuff. But my idea of sport-specific training is just getting more powerful. And I use sort of, whether it's sort of powerlifting techniques or, as I said with this, bodybuilding techniques or strongman techniques, strength techniques, Olympic weightlifting techniques, because that is the most efficient way to build your power and your strength. And you want to use your gym sessions to become more athletic, more of an athlete, more powerful, more stronger. And there are ways to do that. And there's efficient ways of doing that. If you're trying to make something look like a cricket shot, or like you're bowling, like standing on one leg, I see some wild exercises out there. You don't want to do that. It's not efficient in terms of building your strength. It's not efficient in terms of building your power. But yeah, as I said, we'll go through a full week of this. Then I'll go through a full week of our power training, or power style training. And then we'll go through our pre-season work, and I'll do a week of that, which will involve a bit more conditioning. And then probably go through a week of in-season training and what that looks like. Obviously a bit more lower volume, but we still get to do a bit of work. But yeah, that's it for today. We're doing day 3 next, which again is going to be like a lower body session, but more of a posterior, lower back, hamstring type session. So see you then.